La Llorona, the Weeping Woman's Curse. The legend begins. In a small village by the river, many years ago, there lived a woman named Maria. She was known for her extraordinary beauty, capturing the hearts of many men, but she was also proud and vain. Eventually, she married a wealthy Spanish nobleman, and together they had 2 children. At first, their marriage seemed perfect, but as time passed, Maria's husband grew distant. He began traveling frequently, leaving Maria alone with their children. When he returned, he paid them little attention, focusing instead on younger, wealthier women. The pain of his neglect twisted Maria's heart with jealousy and rage. One evening, Maria saw her husband riding through town in a grand carriage with another woman at his side. The betrayal shattered her. In a blind fury, she led their 2 children to the riverbank. Her mind clouded by sorrow and anger, she threw them into the raging waters. As the river swallowed them, the reality of what she had done struck her like a thunderbolt. Maria let out a blood-curdling scream and collapsed in grief. She ran along the river, desperately trying to pull them from the water, but it was too late. The currents had already claimed them. Days later, Maria was found lifeless by the riverbank, her face frozen in eternal despair. But that was not the end of her story. The curse of La Llorona. They say Maria was denied entry to the afterlife. As punishment for her terrible crime, she was cursed to wander the earth for eternity, searching for her lost children. From that day forward, she became known as La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. Her spirit now roams the rivers, lakes, and lonely roads at night. People claim to hear her ghostly wails echoing through the darkness. Mis hijos, ¿dónde están mis hijos? My children, where are my children? Her cry is a warning, a chilling omen of death and misfortune. Some say that if you hear her wails close by, she is actually far away. But if her voice sounds distant, she is right behind you. Encounters with La Llorona. A midnight walk by the river. A man named Carlos had always dismissed La Llorona as nothing more than a scary story. One night, after a long day of drinking with his friends, he took a shortcut home through a wooded path near the river. The air was strangely still. The moon shone dimly, casting eerie shadows on the ground. Suddenly, he heard a soft sobbing in the distance. At first, he thought it was an injured woman, but as he walked closer, the sobbing turned into a heart-wrenching wail. Then he saw her, a woman in a tattered white gown, her hair long and matted, stood with her back to him by the river. Her shoulders trembled as she cried. "Señora, are you all right?" he called out. Slowly she turned. Her face was pale, hollow, and twisted in sorrow. Her eyes, sunken black voids filled with endless torment. And then she screamed, a piercing, otherworldly shriek that sent ice through his veins. Carlos tried to run, but his body refused to move. The last thing he saw was La Llorona reaching for him, before everything turned black. The next morning, he was found lying unconscious by the river, his hair turned ghostly white. He never spoke of that night again. How to protect yourself from La Llorona. Red triangle pointed up, avoid rivers at night. She is most often seen near water, searching for her lost children. Candle, do not answer when you hear crying. If you acknowledge her, she may mark you for death. Skull, wear protective charms. Some believe that carrying blessed amulets, salt, or holy water can keep her away. Folded hands pray and show respect. In some legends, La Llorona does not harm those who acknowledge her sorrow and pray for her soul. But be warned, if you ever hear her cry and the sound seems far away,
Run.
because she may be standing right behind you